and welcome to this video of Business and Entrepreneurship Education Grade 9. Today, we'll look at Unit 10, which is on recording transactions in the ledger. The lesson of today will be on double entry and credit transaction. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to record credit transaction in the ledger. As we have seen in lesson 1 and 2 of Unit 10, business transaction involves inflows and outflows of money and can be cash transaction, bank transaction, or credit transaction. These transactions are recorded using the double entry system. Double entry system implies that each transaction affects two accounts. One account has a debit entry and the second account has a credit entry. Debit entry records all the things which is coming in the business, whereas credit entry records all the things which goes out of the business. As you have learned, the double entry system is also known as the dual aspect principle. A ledger is a book which consists of different accounts. This means that all accounts are kept in a ledger. This is an example of ledger. As you can see, there is the right side and the left side. The left side is known as the debit side, and it records all the receipts into the business. On the other hand, the right side is known as the credit side, and it records all the items which are going out of the business. What are credit transactions? A credit transaction is a business transaction that is paid at a later date. Credit transaction will be either credit purchases or credit sales. Credit purchases are goods bought by a business but whose payment is done later to the supplier. For example, we purchase goods today and we pay for the goods after 3 months. The supplier is also known as the creditor. Supplier or creditor is recorded as trade payable. Recording credit purchases. Credit purchases will affect two accounts. The first account which will be affected is the purchases account, and the second account will be name of the credit supplier account. The purchases account will be debited and the credit supplier account will be credited. An example of a credit purchase is, on June 2nd, goods were bought on credit for 50,000 rupees from a supplier, Trendy Store. The first account that will be affected will be purchases account. Therefore, the purchases account will have to be debited by 50,000 rupees. The second account that will be affected will be trendy store account. Trendy store account will be credited by 50,000 rupees. Remember, the credit supplier account will bear the name of the creditor. In this example, the name of the credit supplier is Trendy Store. So, the account is named as Trendy Store account. If the name of the credit supplier would have been Lisa, then the account name would have been Lisa account. The next step will be to post the credit transaction in the ledger as it has been the case for cash transaction and bank transaction. Therefore, in the purchases account, on the debit side, we record the date 2nd June in the date column, Trendy Store in the details column, and in the amount column we write 50,000 rupees. Likewise, in the Trendy Store account, on the credit side, we record the date 2nd June in the date column. In details column, we write purchases, and in the amount column, we write 50,000 rupees. Credit sales are goods sold by a business, but receipts are obtained later from the customer. For example, we sold goods today and the customer will pay after 1 month. Customer who purchases goods on credit from the business is also known as the debtor. Debtor is recorded as trade receivable. Recording credit sales. Credit sales will affect two accounts. The first account which will be affected is the sales account. And the second account will be the name of the credit customer account. The sales account will be credited and the credit customer account will be debited. An example of a credit sale is, on September 3rd, business sold goods on credit to a customer, Neil, for 75,000 rupees. The first account that will be affected will be the sales account. The sales account will have to be credited by 75,000 rupees. The second account that will be affected will be nil account. Nil account will be debited by 75,000 rupees. Remember, the credit customer account will bear the name of the debtor. In this example, the name of the credit customer or debtor is Neil. So the account is named as Neil account. If the name of the credit customer would have been Samuel, then the account would have been named Samuel account. The next step will be to post the credit sales in the ledger as it has been the case for credit purchases. Therefore, in nil account, on the debit side, we record the date 3rd September in the date column, sales in the details column, and in the amount column we write 75,000 rupees. Likewise, in the sales account, on the credit side, in the date column, we write 3rd September. In the details column, we write nil, and in the amount column, we write 75,000 rupees. Here are some additional resources which you can refer to for credit transactions. Well, that was the end of our lesson 3 for Unit 10, which was on recording credit transaction. Keep watching our other videos. Until the next, goodbye.